Rucker Man.
We are live. Sbtalksports Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates coming at you live every Monday and Friday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sponsored by Swift Engine. Use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. Sean, what is going on? It's Monday. I ain't gonna lie, dog. It's feeling like a Monday for me. What about you, man?
Same. Good to see you, SB. Good to see everybody out there. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. It is Monday. Post-Olympics, training camp, preseason starting to heat up. So definitely looking forward to getting into that. A lot going on, starting to heat up, but definitely looking forward to getting into it.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it. Salute Tiffany in the chat. Todd say, go easy on my Giants, please. Yeah, I can't promise you that. Salute Sturdy and salute everybody in the TikTok chat. Kick. I think we're doing Twitch today, not the Instagram. But on Twitch too, if you guys are in the chat. Like Sean said, we got a lot to talk about post-Olympics. Also, it just got announced that Noah Lyles is not going to compete in the 4x100 because he got COVID. I'm just saying, man. We win one goal. My man gets sick all of a sudden. You know, he's damaged test. I don't know, man. I think we can still do our thing. Obviously, an NBA player is thinking about retiring. The NBA schedule leak, Sean. Some games on that list, and Jerry Jones always got something to say. And we might have been wrong about a player, Sean. We laughed at him. If y'all ever go back, look at our NFL draft stream, we laughed at somebody. He might prove us wrong. And also, we got NFL preview, NFC edition. But, Sean, I want to start up to the top. Obviously, Team USA man wins gold. Obviously, you get the Avengers, as LeBron James like to call this team, the Avengers. The main three guys of the Avengers are obviously Bron, KD, and Steph Curry. And I believe this is Steph Curry's first gold medal. And the superstar performance of what I seen from Steph Curry those last two games, it was like greatest shooter of all time. We cannot deny that. It's like when this man put on performances like that, he looks like something great. And then when you do perform and do something great, the conversation arose. Is it time to anoint Steph over Magic? I know, Sean, y'all know you like to do the little too early thing, but I think he got enough on his resume to make a case for it. Because I'm starting to turn the leaf on, and I'm like, I might be pushing for Steph over Magic. And then also, we're going to talk about it in the next segment. Something else going to have to change for me personally. But how you feel about this Steph Curry is the GOAT PG conversation that just arose after his crazy performance? That shot over two dudes was crazy. I'm not going to lie. But how you feel about this, Sean?
I think it's a massive overreaction. I think people are too often prisoners of the moment, which is not uncommon in today's age, SB. We realize that, with the access that we have to media and certain things, we tend to overreact.
We do.
Was what he did Saturday and Thursday great? Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
But let's keep it in context. It is the Olympics. It's not, I'm not going to compare 2 weeks or take 2 weeks of somebody's basketball life and all of a sudden say, hey, they're the greatest. It's 2 weeks. It's literally like comparing an infomercial to a great television series. Like, an infomercial is short, it's finite. A television series can run over multiple seasons. Like, let's not lose our minds out here. And also, SB, when we had some conversation last year, and and I brought up the idea of, rather than trying to say who ranks above who and blah blah blah, let's just put guys in tiers. Again, I think we mentioned last time that for me, Steph Curry has had a tier 1 point guard career, just like Magic, just like Oscar Robertson. I'm not going to rank them. I'm not going to compare them because obviously we never got to see them share the floor against each other. They played in very different eras. And also the point guard positional expectation has changed, quite a bit. So to compare, to say Steph is greater than one guy or another, not going to do that. We know Steph is one of the best that we've ever seen. Let's just continue to appreciate and enjoy it. Right. There's an old saying, comparison is the thief of joy. I don't want to spend time comparing them because I don't want to take away from the joy of actually watching, great players play. So that's where I'm at on it. But how are your thoughts?
First of all, ask 30 question. When did Curry pass Oscar? For me, he been past Oscar. My honest opinion. I actually got Zeke above Oscar, but that's a different argument for a different day. Salute, go James. For me about it, because like I have been trying to get better at like that, because I do agree with your point about like we should just do tiers, because like tiers will make it easier to rank, because at the end of the day, like Steph Curry had a tier 1 career. Magic Johnson had a tier 1 career. I think Zeke had a tier 1 career too. That's just my opinion. But if I had to just if I had to lower him down, I don't know about Big O though. Because you think Big O tier 1? You got Big O in tier 1?
No, absolutely.
What about Zeke? Is I'm overhyping Zeke? Is that the Chicago in me?
It might be a little bit of that West Side in you. So I think Zeke is right kind of in that middle, like right on the court border, tier 1, tier 2, because again, for Zeke, the only thing Zeke doesn't have is a regular season MVP. But we know he was great, and Zeke is one of those guys. He just doesn't have, for me, he doesn't have the same level of career of Magic and Oscar and Steph. And again, championships are not a delineator for me. I'm just looking at individual accolades. So, I would say he's maybe on the cusp of tier 1, but I would probably be a little more inclined to put him in tier 2.
But to answer your question to the point, like how I feel about the situation, it's like for me, I understand Magic. I did my research and I watched back, but I didn't really get to like enjoy live time. I know everybody give like view bias, but it's harder because like what I learned about watching basketball, it's you can go back and look at a season, but you won't feel the impact what that season had during its live time span, because it was like certain different things going on, and you look at it. So it's like for me to see this in live time and knowing the impact of what this man did during his career is like kind of hard for me. So it'd be like I can see pushing him over Magic, because he like literally changed the whole. He did something like Jordan did, changed the game and changed other players' legacy. Like he changed LeBron James' whole legacy because of how he beat him. He changed the way the game is played because his shooting ability. Now everybody think they can shoot threes. Threes is beneficial. When I remember the Warriors on their first run, and everybody said the only problem with the Warriors, they live and die by the jump shot, and no jump shot team ever could win. They did that once, and then the next year win 72 games. Changed the whole. Everybody started doing it. Everybody, the whole game went away. So I just think like, what's Coach Prime always say this. That's what he said about that. But you got to be the game changer. I think because of his ability and skill set and his impact that changed the game, I might be swaying towards putting Steph Curry over Magic, or let's say in the same team if I had to. But I still have to do my research and make sure like my ones and twos make sense. But I'm just saying how how I'm feeling at the moment today. But as I said, it's nothing wrong with that because, like you said, nobody can argue that Steph didn't have a tier 1 career. So it's like it's not crazy to say that, but it's just like he a game changer. He changed the game. Analytics influence is the big reason the league shoots more threes. Not Curry. That is a lie. I'm sorry, brother. I ain't gonna say that's a lie. Both things can be true. But if you don't think Curry played an impact on teams doing that, because no matter if the analytics said shoot threes better, until the Warriors won a championship, no other team started pursuing that. So it wasn't necessarily just like, oh yeah, the analytics says 3 points, 3-pointers is what you need to do. Nobody didn't really start formatting it until after they won, because right after when Golden State won, we got the Harden Rockets. Who else? We got the Celtics now. We got the Mavericks. Everybody do that out and then have the shooters, but it give or take. But now, if I have this mindset too, what does it mean for Steph in the top 10? Because if I think I got Magic at like 7. I mean, I have to put, because I always had Steph out. But we ain't got to do the ranking though. Is Steph Curry in the tier to be a top 10 athlete? Does Steph Curry belong? Like, is it out there? Like, is he still on the cusp end of it, or is like, no, he should be solidified in that conversation?
I can't answer that question, SB. My rule, I do try to stick to my rule.
It's getting hard now. It's getting hard.
Well, no, because again, I think he's still. I think Steph still has some peak left in him. How much remains to be seen.
3. I think 3.
But that said, I don't want to consider where I have him right now in that all-time pantheon, because again, there's some guys that I would have to go back and really look at again their careers, their accolades, and make sure that we're not disrespecting. Which again, I think it's getting to the point where we can't even limit it to 10. We're gonna have to start saying top 20. Because again, there's guys that will be in some people's top 10 that some people will say, well, they're not in my top 10. I have them in top 20, and I got so it's we're getting to the point where we can't limit ourselves to a number. At the end of the day, we know what Steph, what KD, what LeBron, what these guys are. They are all-time greats, some of the greatest who have ever put on an NBA uniform. Obviously, to me, like when they do top 75, and obviously we're going to have top 100 in a little over 20 years or so.
20 years.
There's going to be guys who are going to be named to that top 100 team that didn't make top 75, but it doesn't mean they weren't worthy of top 75. It's just they kept the list to 75 or 76. So,
I think we need to take up your mantle of just doing the tiers, because if we doing the greatest of all time, I think tier 1, Magic, LeBron, Kareem. No debate. Then we go tier 2. I think that's where you get the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Magics, the Birds, the Stephs. Because then this is my question with the tier thing. Then, what is the limit on each tier, or is there no limit in the tier?
I don't think you have to limit a tier, but I do think there has to be some consistency in the tier. Because again, for me, a tier 2 guy may not be somebody who only has one regular season MVP.
Yeah. That I ain't put Kobe and Shaq in no tier 3. We ain't doing that.
No,
I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm just saying. It's got to just to keep the same energy. As we like to put it, like what's the criteria? We were in a conversation not too long ago, SB. I don't want to browbeat this point, but we were talking about if you're in the GOAT conversation, there are certain things you have to hit from an accomplishment standpoint. You got to have a certain number of MVPs. You got to have a Rookie of the Year. You got to have a Defensive Player of the Year, or at least another accolade that goes along with it. So there was a lot of different things that kind of would take some people out of the conversation. They don't hit the accolades in that way. So I think again, it's just got to be whatever your individual ranking is, or however people do it, my only encouragement to you is, just to that person is just to be consistent. It can't just be how the player made you felt. It's what did they accomplish? And again, the team winning a championship is a great accomplishment, but it's a team accomplishment.
It's team accomplishment. Yeah.
So that would be my only thing.
Yeah, and Steph checked every box on that. I want y'all to tell me where does Steph belong in the top 10, or is he in the top 10? Let me answer 32. It's 30. It wasn't a lie. Like I literally just said, two things could be true. But I can guarantee you this 30. I bet you look at the numbers of, because the threes did go up in value. Check the numbers of the threes, how high the value went after the Warriors won. From the when the Warriors won to now, I guarantee the numbers double. Triple probably, but I know it's higher. Like, there's that 2-3, get a man the credit. He changed the game. Y'all want to use, the analytics, and I hate when people do that too. Sturdy, my man, shout out Sturdy. But like, I'm literally looking at a guy, watching this man change the game of basketball, but they don't want to fully give him credit because they say, oh yeah, the analytics said we should have been shooting 3 or we started shooting. No, bro, he played a part in that, bro. Give that man his credit. That's what it is. Jordan played a part in people building their teams around a shooting guard. Back that time was big man. Magic and them changed the game. Every player gonna have impact on stuff. It could be analytics, but it's also the players that changed the game too. Speaking of players that changed the game, Kevin Durant is another one. Slim Reaper, 7-foot assassin. But we also got to admit too, when we were talking about Steph Curry getting to the tail end of his career, LeBron is pretty much, I think he got one more year. If that, I think this might be his last year, honestly. Once he shed the court burning, I think he's like, all right, okay, cool. I'm going to tip my hat. Kevin Durant, another great player, was on Steph Curry mom's podcast, which is crazy. Everybody got a podcast. Now, Steph Curry mom got a podcast, Sean. Steph Curry mom got a podcast. But she said thoughts of retirement creeping in his mind for sure. He said he see the league getting younger and younger and younger, which it is, because Ant-Man just cooked him up, another young star for the take over the league. And he said because the league getting younger, that's pretty much making him think about retiring. Sean, if you on the court and you used to be up and down, feel like a Ferrari, and now they got you feeling like a Honda Civic and they just running, zooming past you, it's time to hang it up, man. Basketball is always going to be a young man's game, even though I think Steph, Curry, and LeBron played the best out of everybody on Team USA. But like I said last show, like I think on a fresh day, like if they got a break or like how this USA thing was, I'll take Steph, LeBron, and KD over a lot of guys. But in the 82-game season, I'm not taking either one of them over Tatum. Tatum ranked higher because the gruesome season of an 82-game season, even Ant-Man, because basketball always going to be a young man's sport. But now we talking about a game for my life, and they fresh. Oh, I'm taking Steph, KD, and Bron, even at their age right now. So what's your thoughts on KD pretty much thinking about retiring because the league is getting younger? Is it just, man, they moving too fast, man? The old tires ain't shredding the same?
No, I just think when a guy turns 35, he usually starts to think about kind of his basketball mortality. It used to be times that guys wouldn't play until 35, or they would play right up to 35. And now, we see guys, obviously, you look at LeBron, who's currently doing it, and others who play up until, that age. But I think once you turn 35, you do start to think about, okay, like your kind of your basketball mortality. And I think that's all he's really talking about. He's going into year 18, and 18 years is a long time, and also I think, just given some of his other interests, he probably is thinking about like post basketball. I know
that's all he do.
Yeah, he loves the hoop, and he's one of those guys. Even when he retires, I think he'll still show up at some open runs and because he's one of those guys who just loves the hoop. I'll tell you, there was an NBA legend that I saw many years ago show up at open run, and he had been retired probably about 13 or 14 years, and he was wearing dudes out. I'm not going.
You don't want to say it.
I don't want to spoil it, but let me just say that he he played in the ABA and the NBA. That's what I'll yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but people.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really talk about the ABA with his own, I mean, Dr. J might be in that high tier conversation too. Dr. J was
exactly. But no,
I said the name, but dang it, he was the truth though.
Yeah, but no, so I mean, so I think, and also I think KD's talked open about, wanting to start a family at some point and things like that. And, as you get older, you do start thinking about those things. But I think for him, it's just where he is, his age, understanding he's going into year 18. He doesn't have another 18 years left to play. I'm sure he's thinking about it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I said it's crazy that you said KD think about starting a family because how he always talk about like dealing with women he ever had to not be going. And I just think basketball just his first love right now. Once basketball gone, then he can think about it. I think he was on was it Logan Paul's show? And he was just like, yeah, I just know how it is. The girls that just know it's just my turn with it now. Then it's gonna be somebody else's turn next. I was like, dang, KD, you got to slow down at some point, KD. You got to get a family. You got to get a little KD.
I mean, he's following, somebody who played for this franchise's model a little bit, but but when he retired, he ended up settling down and getting married and starting a family, and so I think it's really just, again, to your point, SB, he is, basketball is his first love. He loves to do it, and he is fully committed to it, and doesn't want the distractions of that other stuff around it.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then it's better you have more time to actually be with your kids and all. Even though KD a little bit older, so once his son, probably like if you have a son or daughter that plays sports, once they get to like 20, 30, he gonna be about 60. KD gonna be an old man in gray. Rookie year, seeing the son of NBA legend KD. But Sean, as a fan of anything, this could be a good and bad thing when it happens, or especially in the music industry, when things leak, sometimes that is like a good or a bad thing. Well, for us as NBA fans, it is a good thing because some games has been leaked, which is a good thing for me. I put 2 from what I seen because obviously we've been got the Christmas game. We've been got the Christmas game scheduled. That wasn't really like a leak. I think we already talked about that before too.
Yes, we did.
Still crazy. SGA is not playing on Christmas, which is that's just bad business. That's you just burning the money. But 2 I want to talk about that league. Let's talk about this one first. Opening night, Knicks at Celtics. Also, I can't wait to see when the first game the Celtics play the Warriors too. I want to see if Tatum gonna try to go up for 40 because I know they're gonna try to force feed Tatum the ball that game. Which it is. I still stand on my statement that I believe Tatum was part of the person complaining too. Because he literally came out again and said, yeah, it was challenging and humble. If it wasn't a problem, he would just been like, boys, Team USA, we got to do to win. But whatever. Ring night, it's going to be atrocious to see these green. I like the color green, but it's the only thing I want to see green. The Celtics get these green shamrock shake rings against the Knicks. Get to see the Nova Knicks too. Then Timberwolves versus LA. I'm excited. For these games, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, listen, shout out to the NBA. Obviously, they always put the reigning champs on opening night for ring night. But this year, doing something special, putting the in-season tournament champs on opening night. So shout out to them for doing that.
Got the double champ night on open night.
But no, obviously, yeah. I mean, it's always a big night, ring night. Put the banner up, and big night for the fans. But you got to win, and that's the big thing, And that Knicks team is, coming in. We know they've reloaded and they, got some talent, and so we'll definitely, see what they look like. And then Timberwolves at Lakers, obviously, obviously JJ Reddick, starting his NBA, coaching career point, period. But also again, getting to see the continued emergence of Anthony Edwards and obviously Cat and they've made some really good moves too. Love what they did in the draft. So should be a fun opening night.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a great open night, October 22nd, y'all. And wait, Sean, so I know they rose the banner for the NCAA tournament last year with the Lakers trying to swear so bad that they didn't want to put it up. So is they gonna get their NCAA tournament rings?
Should they get in-season tournament?
I mean, the G League championship get rings now.
Yeah, but that's like a whole season. Like the
No,
NCAA tournament is like 8 games.
No, I said it wrong. I'm sorry. The G League summer leagues get rings now.
Yeah, I don't listen. You know, the Heat won the summer league. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
You gotta get your summer league ring, man.
I hate it. I pure hate it. It's like the YMCA. Every kid gets a trophy. Ain't come to practice for weeks, but every kid gets a trophy. Get out of here with that. Anyway, no. I mean, no. It's overblown. I think. Salute Bang.
Yeah,
I think it's
down those 30.
Yeah.
The NCAA tournament champs and the defending champs on the same night. But this game, I also circled this one too. Klay Thompson first trip back to the Bay. I obviously love when players do come back because they do the treatment, the video things for them. Tribute videos, yes. Thank you. I want to see what they're gonna do for Klay because Klay been there. Klay been there, and I want them to have that same energy too. Which I know Klay jersey gonna get retired, but I wanted that day. They need to announce it there, like before they do the video tribute. Hey, number 11 won't be weird no more, like they did KD when KD left. Nobody wearing 35. I want to hear nobody wearing number 11. It will be hanging in the Raptors. Then cue to the video.
I think
don't play none of the highlights, which I know there is. I'm gonna cut it off if I see the game when he dropped the Chicago Bulls. I'm gonna cut it.
Oh, that's gonna be on. So this is my prediction on when Klay returns to Golden State or to San Francisco, obviously play the Warriors. Their tribute video is going to be the 11 best moments of Klay Thompson's Warrior career. That's my guess. So it's gonna be a pretty interesting video. But yes, one of those moments is gonna be when he set the 3-point mark in a game against the Bulls.
And it's gonna say it too.
Yeah,
Thompson is all there. Oh my!
And the Bulls were wearing red, and the Warriors were wearing blue. You know, remember the game, and so yes, that will be a part of it. You know, as well. So yeah, it'll be the 11 best moments of Klay Thompson's career as a Warrior. That's my guess.
I might have to just catch it on playback. All right, you know what I'm saying? I might catch it on playback. Oh man, I can't wait for this game though. Prediction on how many points you think Klay gonna score back home? I think like 20. I give him like 22.
I mean, I wouldn't even make a prediction. It's just what happens in the Florida game. Happens in the Florida game.
Yeah, because also I don't know how they're gonna use Klay yet too. So that was kind of like a bad way to guess the prediction early. But that is our basketball for us. Let me know what you guys think. Is Steph the greatest point guard of all time? Does he deserve to be in that conversation? Or should we just do tiers? And if you put him in the top 10, where does Steph Curry belong in the top 10? And the schedule leak. Comment down below what game you got circled on your list as a fan that you want to watch. But Sean, we gotta go to the NFL. Let's do it. Hasson Reddick has requested a trade from the Jets. I believe back in March, he was traded to the Jets from the Eagles because he had contract issues. He wanted a new contract. The Eagles said they really couldn't do it. Obviously, they was getting Saquon, making more moves, paying players. So it wasn't nothing left at the well for Hasson Reddick. So Hasson goes to the Jets. Cool. You know, the Jets, cool, pick him up. So since March, he just been waiting, okay, yeah, but the Jets, I know you're going to pay me. You just traded for me. He waits. It's August. Nothing. Hasson Reddick just requested a trade for the Jets, and I want to pull the article back up because this is what happened, man. Sometimes the grass ain't green on the other side, and this more and more I see stuff like this, man. NFLPA is trash, man. But the New York Jets have responded and said, we will not deal him. And quote to the exact quote, we have informed Hasson that we will not trade him, that he is expected to be here with his teammates, and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report. Douglas said in a statement, since the trade discussion back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys we have here as we prepare for the regular season. Before I go, Sean, I want to hear your reaction to that.
This is the most Jets thing that the Jets. You literally trade for a player who has a contract issue. He's in the last year of his deal. He wants long-term security. That's why he, asked for a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
You trade for him, knowing one, he's a big part of what you need to do on defense this year. You lost your best edge rusher last year to the Eagles, which is why the Eagles traded Hasson Reddick.
To you.
And the way Robert Saleh wants to play defense with Quinnen Williams up the middle, he needs that dominant edge rusher. That's Hasson Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact you're saying you're not going to pay him, Joe Douglas, who is the GM for the Jets, what are you doing?
What was the point of trading for him?
If the intent was, hey, we're going to try to work something out with his contract, even if it's just to bump up his contract for this season and then say, okay, we're going to figure it out after next season. Hasson Reddick's only real leverage is to withhold his services. This is what you do, right? And so it's not. I don't know how the Jets are going to fix this. Hasson Reddick seems to be very firm in his position that he is not going to report or play until this gets worked out. And so we'll see what happens. My guess, SB, is that the Jets start out slow and they're having trouble with their
pass rush,
particularly on the edge. They will say, hey, you know what? We need to get this figured out. So especially because they are a team that feels very much because of their defense and because of, what they have on the other side of football, that they are a playoff contender who could, make a sneaky run to the Super Bowl. So
this is a possibility.
So I like to think they'll get it fixed, but that remains to be seen.
For me, with this, like you said, it's such a Jet thing to do. From the point of like, why would you trade for a player who you knew his contract was up? And why would he show loyalty? First of all, that's the same way you can say it vice versa for y'all. Why would you show loyalty to a guy? He just got there. He got to show loyalty to you, but you got to show the same loyalty to him because he just got here too. If I'm on my last thing of my contract, my last year of my contract, you think I'm gonna play for the Jets over the Eagles? If he knew he was gonna have to play his contract out, I guarantee Hasson Reddick would have probably just stayed with the Eagles. And then with them getting a new edge rusher from y'all, he can play less snaps. That means he's not gonna be as healthy, but Hasson Reddick can still be very impactful right now. And this is the guy that you need. No, this is the guy you actually need him, and you trying to lowball him or not pay him. I just don't like it. And this just always stems back to the NFLPA doing a bad job where they don't protect the players. It's not the play. It's not the PA. The PA ain't there. It's just the A, because they don't do nothing for the players at all. Because how am I got traded for, and I guarantee you, even though they said they was clear talking to him, I guarantee you Hasson Reddick said, or he told his agent to tell them, if they trade for me, they better pay me. But now I'm sitting out because this is the only thing I can do to get a contract. But I get fined for sitting out because they don't want to do business and sign a new contract after they traded for me, knowing that I need a contract. Y'all don't see that wrong. I'm getting fined. Every time I miss out because they traded me knowing I needed a. I don't understand that. They traded me knowing I needed a contract. And that I don't think players should be fined out there, since it's like with the non-guaranteed contracts and how bad the contract things are in the NFL. I just think if they said they didn't fine them, I'd have been cool with that. But that's just like you said, it's such a Jet thing to do. Sean, remember we had the draft show. This Sunday we should be doing the fantasy draft show too. Fantasy draft. I gotta make sure I name my team. I don't know. I was trying to think what name we doing this year. Hey man, somebody send me some tips if you play fantasy, man. What player should I get? But before I get into that, I was talking about something. What was your reaction, real quick, to seeing? Because this was it. I believe this was the same game. Did they play the Colts? Yeah, I think they did. What was your reaction to Jonathan Taylor wearing the helmet? Did you like how it looked? Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I didn't see that.
Let me see. Can I pull it up so you can see it real quick? Because we're going to talk about the Broncos next. It just literally hit me when I seen the Colts. I was just like, oh, he definitely wore it. It looks. It got the logo on the side. Okay, there it goes. I want the big picture of it. The Guardian cap. It's like there, but not there. You know, it's like you see it. Can I just go to images? Sorry, guys. 1 second. Bear with me. I want to get it a good picture of it. Move it over. Share screen. Jonathan Taylor. Boom. Okay. What you think? I'm trying to zoom in on it. It don't really look like.
Yeah, it don't look too. I mean, it's literally the same aesthetic as the helmet, so I guess it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm trying to zoom it in a little bit, but I guess I had clicked. Hold on. Yeah, it's you see it, but it just looked like a bigger pillow on top of his helmet. So it's like it ain't nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Let me see. This should be a better one up close. Yeah, that's better. What you think?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, like not too much. I just literally thought about it. I meant to send that to you too, but it was like it wasn't nothing worth like, oh, it's a whole story to talk about. I just want your quick reaction on it. But that same game, a guy we laughed about during the draft, and I remember my quotes exactly. It'll be such a Bronco thing to take Bo Nix right here. And they took Bo Nix, and we laughed. We thought it was going to be trash. And, Sean, 15 for 21, 125, throwing some dots. Right now, looking like he might be the starter over because I believe it's Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, and who's the third guy? Is it a third guy on quarterback squad?
Oh, Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah. Right now, I'm gonna say Bo looking like the starter, but was we wrong about Bo? Was we wrong about the Bo? He already a veteran by age. I mean, yeah. Right.
I saw 60+ games of Bo Nix at Auburn and Oregon. No, we were not wrong about Bo Nix. It is preseason. I'm not going to go crazy or nuts over preseason. And at the end of the day, he played solid, just like a lot of guys have played solid in the preseason as they tend to do. Mm-hmm. Just as a reminder, SB, the year the Lions went 0-16, they were undefeated. They were undefeated in the preseason. So I don't read into the preseason like that. It's preseason, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's just preseason. Unless you Stetson Bennett, Rams, who threw like 5 interceptions, got the game winner. That's the equivalent of like you go into the gym and hoop and you airball every shot and you just hit the last game winner.
Right.
Now you hoop. Yeah.
That one you hit was a game changer.
You hit was a game changer. It's legendary. But we're gonna keep our eyes close on Bo. But I think Bo Nix will start though. Am I wrong for thinking that? It's looking like he might start though.
I mean, he's they have Stidham number 1 on the depth chart right now. Sean Payton's, remember Sean Payton's a disciple of Bill Parcells. You're gonna earn it. He ain't giving you nothing. You're gonna earn it. So Bo Nix has got to earn it. Now again, the competition in the quarterback room ain't that great.
I mean, he got a hard job to win. I can tell you that.
Exactly. It's not like he's like he's got to overcome a pebble, not a mountain. Right. So
I don't even think it's a pebble. It's a grain of salt. Quarterback room.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll see.
But speaking of players who earned it, I would think if you're one of the best wide receivers in the league, it should be no question and no biggie to pay you. Not for Jerry Jones, So he came out. We don't value CeeDee Lamb or value getting the job done. It happened when it happened, pretty much type attitude. Then, CeeDee Lamb seen Jerry laughing. Of course, Jerry Jones always got to be in the news. Oh, he backtracking now. He backtracking from them comments now. Oh, he seen CeeDee was for real. How you gonna mess up one of your best players and don't want to pay him and then talk smack about it? And he was quoted saying, "Well, CD, you're a miss, okay? What is your reaction to that, Sean? Yeah, players. Some look. The best time to stand on business when it comes to this contract stuff is like when you at the level with CDM Lamb at right now. When you like one of the best at your position, where trust me, if you don't pay me, somebody else will trade for me to pay me. And CD Lamb will get paid handsomely. But what was your reaction to, as you call him, the Kanye West of owners?
That's still my reaction. He's the Kanye West of NFL owners. He knows how to market the situation, take advantage of people clicking on what he says and what he does. He knows what he's doing. So I'm not paying it any mind, just like he did the other day when he said we were in no rush or no sense of urgency. It's
I was
just
like,
he's just trying
what?
to get you. He's just trying to get you to click. That's all.
Is it worth losing your players for those clicks, though?
I mean, losing is relative, right? Because again, at the end of the day, even if they don't pay, if they don't get a contract done with CD Lamb, this season before the season starts, they have the franchise tag they can use in the off season. So for him, can't use it for Dak, but they can use it for him. So, so that's always on the table potentially. My belief, SB, is that they will literally figure out a way to get something done before the season. They just want to keep everybody's, attention on Dallas because, again, that's part of Jerry Jones's shtick is how can we, keep attention on this team that's going to do well in the regular season usually and fall off in the playoffs. So let me just make sure I keep as much attention on us in the preseason as possible. So that's all he's doing.
Yeah, Jerry always got to have stuff in the NFC going crazy. Always got to try to be in the news. But Sean, we got to. Whoop, I moved that. Oh, it's that time. NFL preview, NFC edition. If you guys seen the show Friday, we did the AFC. Go back, go check it out. Make sure you guys watch. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. But we got to do the NFC now. Sean, let's do it. Let's go. NFC North. I think let's do right to left on this one because I think it's a little more interesting with the Packers, Lions, and Bears. We can just knock out the Vikings real quick. I have nothing. They're gonna be JJ. They're trash. No, I'm joking, but quarterback question, obviously, and then how long before Jay Jettas get frustrated with his quarterback throwing it into the crowd more than to him? That's literally the only thing with me. I feel like this year is gonna be a down year for the Vikings. I don't see them. I think this year they're gonna miss Kirk Cousins a lot.
Yeah, I mean they're going into the season. It seems like Sam Darnold's going to start the season for them. Big question will be when will JJ McCarthy take over? I think if they figure out, hey, we're probably not in the playoff race legitimately, that they may turn the keys over to JJ sooner than later. But so that's a big question. And then the other big question for me is where will the sacks and the quarterback pressures come from? They lost to Danielle Hunter. He's now in Houston. They did draft Dallas Turner from Alabama, who fell in the draft. A lot of people thought Dallas Turner would probably go in the top 10 somewhere. But ultimately, where will the sacks and the quarterback pressures come from? That's what I'm going to be looking for with Minnesota. That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. We got Go Pack Go. Sorry, you can take the lead on this one.
So big thing for the Packers to me is can they find a long-term fix to their kicking game? They had some major kicking issues last season. They brought in a couple of guys to compete with the kid they drafted last year, Anders, and now they got to figure out, that kicking game because again that cost them, some games, including that playoff game in San Francisco potentially. So fix the kicking game, and then they got a new defensive coordinator. Their defense was ranked 17th last year. can he take them up just another level? I don't know if they got to be a top 5 defense or anything, but they just got to get up to another level where, again, they're playing complementary football to the offense, because we think the offense is going to be pretty good. So those are my Green Bay questions.
Obviously, I definitely agree with the new defensive coordinator. Like, what are you going to establish? What can you bring back in to make this defense better than what they was last year? For sure, that's staple there first. But the main big question for me is, Jordan Love, are you going to live up to this contract? Because was the first half of the season, was that really you, or the second half? Is it really you? That's because at the end of the day, no matter what the new defensive coordinator or not, for the Packers to go to the next level, is they're going to live it out through Jordan Love. Now, I think showing that you had confidence in him by paying him what you paid him was a lot, but they waited for you. They build you up for this moment. So my big question is that, like, can Jordan Love live up to expectation? Because people forget that first half of that season, because Jordan Love wasn't looking that good. People was questioning, was he the guy? And then he just hit a switch and became a whole different quarterback. So I just wanted my big main focus with Jordan Love, especially with the Packers, because like they quarterback university over there. They live, breathe growth of your quarterback. So is he the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers? Is he that guy? All right. Lions. My big question about the Lions is obviously with the addition that you added. Can the secondary improve? Mainly for me, and then also can you improve on what you did last year, but also can the coach, because I have a problem with coaches doing this anyway, because I deal with the Charger, like, can he slow down on like the little gambling a little bit, play a little bit smarter from the head coaching position? That's my only real questions and concerns about the Lions. But besides that, I like the offense. I like their running game. I hope they stick to that. I don't want them to change that. So I'm only concerned with the secondary and the coaching, like late game gambles. That's it for me. What about you?
So a couple things for Detroit with me. Jameson Williams, is he ready to ascend to be that complimentary guy on the other side of Amon-Ra St. Brown?
He got the talent.
He has the talent, but we got to see if he can put it together, because if he can be that really good number 2 or that 1B to Amon-Ra St. Brown's 1A, I think their offense can take the next step. Also, again, I think offensively, them still having Ben Johnson as their offensive coordinator, he was, up for some head coaching opportunities. He didn't leave, but certainly, the continued evolution of their offense. Going to be real curious to see if they can get Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery on the field on the same time in some different alignments. Using Jahmyr Gibbs, continuing to expand his role, using him more in that Alvin Kamara space where they split him out, things of that nature. So we'll see. And then the other defensively, you mentioned the secondary. My big concern for them defensively is getting a complimentary pass rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, he getting double now. You're getting double a lot now.
Yeah, they got Marcus Davenport, who, unfortunately doesn't like to stay healthy for whatever reason. And so if he can stay healthy and be that complimentary edge rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, I think defensively they can continue to move forward.
Sean, I got a question. I don't know what the Lions' money look like off the top of the head, because I didn't look at their money when I was looking. What were my questions about the team? Do you make that call to the Jets and get Hasson Reddick?
If I'm calling anybody, it would be good to call the Patriots about Matthew Judon.
Or Matthew Judon too. I forget.
But Judon would be the first call I would make. It would not be for Hasson Reddick.
I think they can actually get Judon too.
Yeah.
And the last but not least, the Bears. Well, Sean, you kick it off. What's your concerns is with the Bears?
So just a couple of things with the Bears. Obviously we know the Bears have loaded up from a talent perspective. Question for me is, do the Bears have to be a wild card competitor during the season for Matt Eberflus to keep his job? That for me is really, a huge, huge question. If they're still teetering as a 500 or below team, I don't know if they, consider keeping him long term. So for me, I think for him to keep his job long term, they got to be in that wild card conversation really up until the end of the season. And then are DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert, are they enough running game to keep the offense balanced? Because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, yeah, you got, obviously, DJ Moore and Roma Dunze and my guy from the Chargers. Oh, my goodness. Keenan Allen. And you got Cole Kmet. And, but with a rookie quarterback, you want to be balanced offensively. You don't want your rookie quarterback going out throwing the ball 50 times a game. So Swift, Khalil Herbert, that combination, are they good enough to keep their offense balanced? So those are my two Bears questions.
For me, one is obviously we got Montez Sweat, and obviously once they got Montez Sweat, he changed the dynamic of that defense. So obviously, I'm thinking more about can the D line actually get enough pressure consistently now what they got Sweat full time. But my main two concerns, obviously, is somewhere in the realm with yours. Can they give Caleb Williams and Eberflus a year to breathe? I don't want it to be like you got to have a wild card year, because you say this all the time. The worst thing you could do for a young quarterback is not have a consistent coach. So I don't want this to be a make or break year forever, no matter what the Bears do. And it shouldn't be the same way for Caleb Williams, which, as we seen in the he looked pretty comfortable. He looked like you see the talent, the flash of the talent's there. And that's what I want. My main question for the Bears is let this year coast. Just live with how it goes. If y'all overachieve and be a wild card or even win a division, don't get overhyped. That's cool. But if y'all play lower or what people expect y'all to play, I think this year should be a clean slate pass year. You got a rookie quarterback. You got to let the voice establish, because, like you said, the worst thing you could do for a young quarterback, which thank God Justin Herbert still showed his talent, but I feel like it affected him. Trevor Lawrence, it affected him. So you can't keep changing coaches. And you got to learn new words, personnel, different styles. The coaches don't know. I think you got to keep going on with the coach that you got. So my idea is just let this year coach. Salute, Brother Bees in the chat. Salute, fellas. Hope all is well with you, Brother Bees. We good, man. Hope everything's good with you. The Bears banking on Jervon Dexter Sr. to take a big step this season. Okay. Salute, Bees. Okay, next. Division. NFC West. We can go to the left first on this one. I'm not really, because I feel like this is going to be a bad year for the Cardinals. My only concern is that, sorry to say it, is Caleb Murray going to be able to play after Call of Duty come out? That's always going to be my question about them, bro. I can't get past to look at nothing else. Even when I was looking at them, looking at I know they got problems other places on the team, but the main thing is, can Kyler Murray, I said Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray play past October whenever Call of Duty, November, whenever Call of Duty drop? Can he stay focused? You just got a new weapon at receiver who might be one of the best receivers we've seen in a long time. And it was a reason why y'all was at the top of the draft this year, part you being injured and part people saying you don't focus, and also health is a concern too. But that's my major question. I think because everything starts and ends with Kyler Murray for this team right now. From the point they at right now.
So two things for me with Arizona. They were 2-5 in one-score games last year. They were very competitive in most of the games they played with, again, a talent deficiency. So can they find a way to flip that this year and be above 500 in one-score games? And then their defense was ranked 25th last season, SB. That's not a great look when you have a defensive head coach.
That is bad.
Obviously with Jonathan Gannon, you mentioned Kyler Murray. I don't know if this year is a prove it or lose it deal or year for Kyler Murray, but I do think he's on the clock, particularly if they find themselves drafting, very high next year in the draft as well.
Some quarterbacks
with the amount of money that they're paying them. So, this is going to be an interesting year for Kyler Murray. But big thing is 2-5 in one-score games last year. Can you find a way to flip that? That I'm going to be looking for from them.
Okay, then we got the Rams on the list. I got one simple question. Who you replacing Aaron Donald? Because I'm tired of seeing every year since Aaron Donald retired. Yeah, Aaron Donald, he should just come back for the playoffs. No, let that man coast in peace. The ship has sailed. Aaron Donald, Hall of Famer. He got y'all a bowl. He did his job. Now let him coast away. Just let him float away. So replacing Aaron Donald for me is the big question. Is and it don't have to be this year, but when? So y'all can stop calling this man. I'm tired of seeing the reports. That's my only question about them. And don't start Stetson Bennett. Please don't let that man see the flow in the regular season.
Well, no, if Stetson Bennett sees the field for them, something went terribly wrong because Jimmy Garoppolo is their backup. So
They ain't no better.
Well, so to answer your question about Aaron Donald, because I had that as a question as well, they spent their first 2 draft picks on the defensive line, both guys from Florida State, Jared Verse in the first round, Braden Fisk in the second round, who's an interior defensive lineman. I don't think you're going to replace Aaron Donald with one guy. I think it's got to be by committee and by group, because we know Aaron Donald is one of those ones. And so you don't replace that guy with one guy. So that will be interesting. And then the other thing from a defensive perspective is they're also not replacing Aaron Donald. They're also replacing the defensive coordinator. Raheem Morris, who was there the last few years, helped coach their defense to a Super Bowl, is now in Atlanta. Can Chris Shula, their new defensive coordinator, can he actually replace, Raheem Morris? So again, because they consider themselves a very competitive team, I think they got a good chance to sneak and win this division if things break their way. So
that's a hot take right there.
They got a really good team, but again, it's gonna come down to all 11 on defense playing for each other, and of course offensively, you get Cooper Kupp with Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams was one of the best backs in the league last year once he fully took over as their lead back, and and obviously protecting Matthew Stafford, who's certainly getting older. So yeah, and not just protecting Matthew Stafford from opposing defenses, but protecting Matthew Stafford from his wife from cucking him consistently in public.
Hey, I swear I was finna say it, but I shut it up. I was finna say it. I was like, you gotta protect that man from his wife more than
Yeah. Matthew Stafford is the white Will Smith. I just want to say that. But anyway, yeah.
49ers next on the list. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
49ers, 2 big questions. Can you get the Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk contract situations worked out before the season? I think that's very, very important. And then the other thing is, for me, is they're on their 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years. They got rid of Steve Wilkes after the Super Bowl, replaced him with Sorensen, former NFL safety, longtime NFL safety. Again, changing coordinators like that, we'll see what type of effect that has. But again, get the Ayuk and Trent Williams situations figured out, because those 2 guys I think are super important if they want to get back to the Super Bowl.
I definitely had to, because I'm tired of the Ayuk situation, because it's like, bro, either pay the man or not. But I was definitely high on the Trent Williams. Like, he should have been signing. You got a young quarterback who you thinking about paying. You better pay the guy who's going to protect him. And the guy you going to protect him is, like, if not the best player at his position, one of the best players at his position. No question. So why is Trent? My question one was like, why Trent Williams contract is not done, or why do you not pay this man yet? 2, obviously, with the defense coordinator, I was concerned about the defense, and because I believe they got rid of Chase Young. Chase Young is gone.
He's gone. He's in New Orleans.
Who's going to be who is the other guy on the other side for Bosa? That's my concern. Like, because Bosa can do so much, might be right up there with Myles Garrett. But it's only so much you can do by yourself. So that's my concern of, like, who else, or what's the game plan for the new defensive coordinator to make Bosa be effective as he is? And then, like, obviously with the Brock Purdy thing, but we got to just wait and see with that. I want to see what's the number for Brock Purdy is going to be. That's my question. How high are you going to play Brock Purdy? Seahawks. You can take the lead on this one too.
Seahawks, Mike McDonald coming over from Baltimore, taking over as the head coach. Their defense was ranked 30th last year in the NFL. That's obviously not good enough. He's got to fix the defense. And can he fix the defense? They've made a lot of changes to their roster, particularly on the back end at safety. Big thing is, can he fix the defense? And then how much leeway for Geno? Geno had a great 2022, was kind of up and down. Last year, he had some good moments. He had some not so good moments. How much leeway are they going to give Geno Smith? Or are they going to say, hey, listen, we don't have a long-term commitment to you. We're going to, see what Sam Howell can do. Trust me, I laughed at the thought, but this is how these teams think, particularly if they don't feel like they got their long-term solution at quarterback on the roster. So how much leeway for Geno Smith is what I'm looking for from them.
Before I answer this, I didn't see King comment because I guess he must have commented this when we were talking about Bo Nix, maybe. I don't know. But he said the Denver winning their division. Are you crazy? The Chiefs in that division. I'm a Chargers fan. I wouldn't even say nothing that wild. No, he said Denver winning the division. And
the Denver Broncos could get Joker to come out and play when he ain't playing for the Nuggets, and they still wouldn't win the division.
They would.
So, no.
Well, King did say something that you might like. He said, the year is definitely off. That's not happening in 2025. But he said, Ant coming to the Miami Heat watch. But he said in 2025, it's not going to happen in 2025.
That's Bill Simmons did that nonsense, and he got the right initials because that was some BS. We can move on.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. For me with the Seahawks is I'm not really concerned about the leeway of Geno, but I do have to agree. My only concern is the defense and the new coach. Can he actually be a great voice of this team? Because obviously last year was Pete Carroll's last year, so obviously going out the Pete Carroll era. So can he actually live up to expectation? Well, because I know the new people took over and they didn't like Pete Carroll, but Pete Carroll established something with the Seahawks, Legion of Boom. They won championship, so that's a tough shoes to fill. So my own concern is like, what can the coach do to fill in Pete Carroll's shoes, and then how can they improve the defense? That's
what Pete Carroll did, SB?
What?
He actually proved they're Seahawks fans because there were none before Pete Carroll. You might have seen a Seahawks jersey here and there. That 1 year, Sean Alexander
was different that year.
Like the old Steve Largent jersey back in the day, or Cortez Kennedy. Yeah. But Pete Carroll and John Schneider made the Seahawks relevant and made them contenders. So let's see if Mike McDonald can bring his imprint and continue that.
Hey, Blue Ball's so funny. We got to do the NFC. We got to do the NFC South before we do the NFC East. It's bad. He said, "Salute SB and Sean. What's the diagnosis for my Giants?" Hey, you asked me for y'all sick. We go. I don't know. I might be a little nice. I don't know about Sean gonna be nice about your Giants, but yeah, let's go up to the AFC South so we can talk about. We say the NFC East. Y'all not the NFC Least no more. Y'all done bulked up. So we saved them for last. I know a lot of y'all like the Giants, Cowboys, and the Eagles. Nobody likes the Commanders, which is crazy because now, Sean, you see that they complaining now. They want the team to be named back the Redskins now. No, you complained. It's over with. Now they want to sue. But let's see. Should we go right to left?
Your call.
We go Sean's old team, current team.
We're not doing there's no old team. They don't exist.
My bad. Okay, we could do the Falcons first because we could just knock the Panthers out. Concerns with the Falcons is, are we finally going to get Kyle Pitts established to live up to his talent? Are you going to finally use Kyle Pitts to his potential ability? Now he got Kirk Cousins. I know Kirk Cousins don't perform under the big lights, but during the season he's going to put up numbers. Also, with the new head coach, can he establish a good foundation with this team? Because the Falcons have the talent, and I'm not going to lie, with the Saints I think the Saints going to have a down year. I know the Panthers going to be trash. Buccaneers iffy. I think the Falcons can win the division. So with the high expectation on this new coach, can he live up to it? Because I think they should be right on the cusp of winning the division. But that's my only real concern is just can a head coach establish himself, and then can I finally see Kyle Pitts be as great as I think Kyle Pitts can be?
So a couple things with them. If I asked you, can the Falcons be a top 10 defense? Do I sound crazy?
I think this year, no.
So
I don't know.
they were the 11th ranked defense last year.
Yeah.
So we know what Raheem Morris did in LA with the Rams. He's a very good defensive guy. Jimmy Lake is their defensive coordinator. Can they ascend into that top 10 defense conversation?
I think so.
So that would be my first question. And then I'm gonna make a bold prediction. And it may be bold, but this will be the only year Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, matter of fact, I got one more question because I did see. Did you see Penix in the preseason? The passing. What my other question is: what week Michael Penix take his job? I think Michael Penix take his job this year.
I don't think he takes it this year.
If they do good.
Yeah, if they do good, and again, provided Kirk Cousins is healthy and playing well, I don't think he takes it this year. I think it's going to be like an Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes type deal. That Penix is going to sit the season, but next year is his job. And they will eat the $35 million to trade Kirk Cousins to wherever he wants to go in the offseason, because I think Penix is going to be ready sooner than they had.
Like I said, we'll overreact in preseason. My only point is how he threw the ball and how it looked. He threw the ball. He looked like he was comfortable.
He threw the same way at Indiana and Washington. That's the point. The only reason why there were question marks about him was health. Because he had the major injuries. Never a question about whether or not he could spin the football. He can absolutely spin the football, and his location and his precision with throwing the football, never a question. It was the health. So my belief is this is the only year Kirk Cousins will be the starter for the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Now I know I joked earlier. I did, but with how trash their owner is and how trash the team is, I swear I try my best to research and find a question. I don't have nothing for the Panthers. I don't have nothing. I'm not going to even lie and try to make up a question right now. I have nothing. I don't even care.
So
do they still have a fan base?
I do. They do have a fan base. Pretty rabid fan base. But question for me is their offensive line good enough? They have invested in that offensive line. Last year, it was, I don't know if it was a function of what they were running offensively. And now that they have Dave Canales, is the offensive line good enough for what he wants to bring in and obviously implement with Bryce Young? Offensive line questions. I think they upgraded their weapons. They went out and got Deontay Johnson. They got Leggett out of South Carolina, who looks like AJ Brown Jr.
A country version of AJ. Boy, that boy country, boy.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. He's go back there in the backyard, man. He sound like Bo Howell a little bit.
And if I told you they had the 4th ranked defense in the NFL last year, would you believe me?
No.
They had the 4th ranked defense in the NFL last year.
I mean, when your defense on the field 80% of the game.
Well, they got to replace Brian Burns. And I know they brought in Clowney, and certainly they like some of the guys they got on defense, but can they still be at least a top 10 defense, roll that over into this season with some improvement from their offense? I actually think they're going to be a little bit better than people may think. I don't think they're a playoff team by any stretch, but I think they can win 5 or 6 games this year. I do.
I could see 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So this is your team. Allegedly. I don't know about the other team. But your Saints.
You see what it is?
I know, I see it.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I'll let you take the lead on the Saints. Go ahead. What's your questions for your team?
So, new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak run a very different system from the previous regime. Pete Carmichael, who basically took over from Sean Payton. What's it going to look like? How quickly are guys going to get up to speed? That's going to be a big thing. And Dennis Allen, does he survive the season? There were some rankings of head coaches in the NFL. that came out recently. He was ranked as the worst head coach in the NFL.
Jeez.
And it's a well-earned title. So
I cannot deny that.
Yes.
I cannot deny that.
I don't even know if his mama likes him. So anyway, so yeah, does he survive the season? That remains to be seen. No, the Saints are probably going to be really solid on defense. Not a question about that. But I don't know, based on the schedule, I don't know how many games that team is going to win. And him and Vehicle maybe taking the bus out of town together.
My main question: what week y'all getting rid of Derek Vehicle and the head coach? What day? It had to be soon.
As soon as the season is over, I hope. And Mickey Loomis, you can go too.
Send everybody. The Patrick Mahomes clone joke guy, or Spencer Rattler. I got him starting by like week 10, week 8. Play that man. Derek Vehicle should not. I'll imagine. I don't want to. You're a millionaire though. I don't want to wish nobody to lose a job. But Derek Vehicle should not be your starting quarterback by the end of this season. Point blank period. Yeah. All right. It starts up top. Get rid of the coach. You can wait to the end of the season to get rid of the coach. Derek Vehicle better not be starting. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll let you take the lead on this one too, Sean.
So big question about Tampa, their running game. The running game was very, very inconsistent last year. Can they get a running game going? And then Baker Mayfield. Baker had a really solid season last year, but Baker's big problem is he's never put together 2 consecutive good seasons. So can he put together 2 consecutive good seasons? Because, again, I think the team we talked about earlier, Atlanta, is probably the favorite in that division, but I think Tampa's going to be obviously right there fighting, trying to, win the division again. So those are my 2 big questions for the Buccaneers.
That's crazy. Now I only got one question. Like you said, is Baker Mayfield finally the guy? Is he the one to replace the helm of the great Tom Brady? That's really the only thing I really got concerned. Obviously, you hit the head on the running game, but only thing my concern with is just Baker Mayfield, because like we also believe that the Falcons are the favorite, but the Buccaneers can easily sneak and win this division. Just because I think the Falcons have more talent on paper, but I think the Buccaneers could play better. But it all starts and ends with Baker Mayfield. That's it. If he can put another together a solid year, I can see it happening again. Now, finally, we're going to kind of do this one a little bit out of order. I should have wrote it in a better order. Let's do the NFC East. Let's do Commanders, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should be saved for last. So let's go ahead and knock out the Commanders.
All right. So Dan Quinn, new head coach. Can he fix the defense? Defense was ranked last in the NFL last year. They were really bad. Particularly after trading away Montez Sweat and Chase Young. So can you fix the 32nd ranked defense? And then the other question is the O-line. They're going to run that air raid system that Cliff Kingsbury loves with Jaden Daniels. Is the O-line good enough to protect Jaden Daniels? Again, big question about Jaden Daniels is not his talent. He's just slight. And that air raid, spreads teams out. Are they good enough to protect them? That's the big question for me with Washington.
Yeah, honestly, my question was literally the same. You hit it right on the head. I want to go out the quarterback, and then I'm sorry, I'm not worried about the defense at all, because like you got rid of all your talent. It's the reason why you was ranked 32nd, and I can't tell you off the top of the head right now who did they add it defensively, because I was really only concerned about the offense. So I was just worried about can Kingsbury come establish a high-powered offense, which we know he had an ability to do, and is we go on day one right with Daniels, because I think he looked solid. So I think put Jaden Daniels in the best position to be protected, because that line is definitely shaky. But those are my only 2 points. Can Kingsbury establish a high-powered offense? Because the defense is – I don't expect nothing from the defense. And I don't know, blue ball. Taj. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about them Giants. Do you want to take the lead, or you want me to start this off?
You go ahead. You can start it off.
My biggest question is why does everybody who in that office still got a job? That's first. First off, why does everybody still got a job? Why is Daniel Jones still your star quarterback? Why would you let go 2 of your star players for a mediocre quarterback? You let Saquon Barkley walk. You let Xavier McKinney go. Let him go. Because you ain't had the money to sign him, but you went all in on a quarterback who showed you nothing. So my biggest concern is, and the Hard Knocks made it worse. Why does everybody in that office still got a job today? That's my big question with the Giants. That's my only one. Because they're not going to do nothing on the field, Sean. It's nothing that's going to be telling. I feel bad for that rookie who got drafted there. I feel bad for Brian Burns who got traded there. Good luck to y'all. You guarantee that rookie wide receiver. What's the rookie wide receiver they got? Because I kind of wanted them to.
Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors. I feel so bad for Mr. Neighbors. Man, I'm not a DJ Stan as I used to be. I know. He was Danny Dimes. Now Danny Crimes now. It's a crap how he robbing y'all blind. He got to prove something. I'm just trying to let you know now. Be prepared to be disappointed. That man went from Danny Dimes to Danny Crimes, Sean. But yeah, that's my only big question about the Giants. Why does everybody in the office still have a job?
So big thing for me with the Giants. First thing, moving Malik. And what I mean by moving Malik is use him all over the field. Most of his production at LSU did come out of the slot. He has proven, obviously, he can work outside, but move him around. Whatever you got to do to get the ball in his hands, move him around as much as possible. So moving Malik. And if I'm watching the Giants, and obviously don't watch a lot of Giants games because they stink, but the Giants day ball show you can move this guy around and be unique in how you get into football. Well, Brian Burns, you mentioned Brian Burns earlier about being traded there. Brian Burns, they were the 27th ranked defense last year. Is he going to help that? Obviously with Kayvon Thibodeau, on the other side, they've invested quite a bit in their defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, as well. You can't be the 27th ranked defense in that division, facing again 2 of those teams in particular. But now you got a third team with a dynamic young quarterback. 27 cut it. So you got to get that up. And the Brian Daboll hot seat, because there's somebody out there who's kind of hovering over the NFC East, that if that Giants job becomes available, I think he will be the first and only call they make, which is Bill Belichick, with his ties to that organization. So, how big is the Brian Daboll hot seat? They're not a playoff team unless something crazy happens. But, what does Daboll have to do to at least, get another chance, a fourth season there as the head coach? So those are the 3 questions for me.
Okay, Sean. Let's go. EAGLES. Eagles.
So Eagles question for me is the secondary better? Their secondary was a nightmare last year. They've, drafted they drafted Quinyon Mitchell. Obviously, they drafted Cooper DeJean as well. They brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They're moving James Bradbury to safety, presumably. Is Slay still, able to play at a high level? Got to get better play out of that secondary, particularly with Vic Fangio as your defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio is very aggressive in the front 7. You got to get better play out of the secondary. So is the secondary better? And then who's their third wide receiver? They don't have a lot of depth at receiver behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They're going to be one of those teams that I think, depending on what happens with some of these receivers in camp, they're going to be a team that's probably going to be looking at 1 or 2 of those guys who doesn't make it through camp with another team like a Robert Woods potentially in Houston. I'm not going to say that guy in Kansas City because, they don't want him in Philly. But, there's some guys out there that could potentially be available. David Bell in Cleveland, for example, could be another guy. The numbers game of receivers, they should be one of those teams that should be looking at, okay, who becomes available and can they come in and be a third receiver for us? And then the last question is the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni relationship. It was not, by all accounts, it was not very good last year. There were some issues there. Obviously, they got rid of, who Jalen Hurts, wanted as the offensive coordinator, and Brian Johnson brought in, Kellen Moore. So, is the Hurts-Sirianni relationship good? Because this is a team that believes they should really have a chance to get back to the Super Bowl after not, obviously getting back last year. So those are my questions for Philadelphia.
My question for Philly is also wants to start with the line. What is the line going to look like without that point of attack, that point leader, Jason Kelce? Because what made that tush push work that they used a lot was Jason Kelce. Can they actually fix that? Can their offensive line still be established very good? I know the depth, the receiver we was talking about, but my question is, I know you got AJ Brown, I know you got Smith, but you just got Saquon Barkley, and I think the Eagles are more dangerous when they impact the run. Like, is this year the run game is going to be the main point of attack for you guys? I think it will benefit them more if they use the run game. Option game with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley is crazy. So that's really my only real question, because it's just like the Eagles are a Super Bowl contending team, but my only concern is offensive line and what's going to be their point of attack now with the additions of Saquon Barkley. I think they should establish the run, because then once they establish the run, then I believe it opens up the pass, make the game easier for them. Last but not least, the Dallas boys, the Jerry Jones circus fiasco. What's your question for him? Now, please don't tell me Jerry Jones put down the mic in the media, because that's one of them I would agree with you, though.
Yeah, no, we know he'll never do that. So not even a question. Concerns for me, the left side of their offensive line, very young. Are those guys ready to step in and play, big significant roles? Obviously, they've invested, 2 first-round picks in their offensive line the last couple of years. So the left side of their offensive line, the running game is a major concern. If I'm a Cowboys fan, which obviously I'm not, so oh well. But the running game is a major concern. Big question mark. Because again, I don't think you want Dak. We understand the talent of Dak. We understand the talent of CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, that passing game, Brandon Cooks. But you still, again, at the end of the day, got to be balanced and got to, keep the other team, guessing about what you're going to do. And then new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer taking over for Dan Quinn. Mike Zimmer tends to like to play with a little more beef up front. The Cowboys had major issues stopping the run, particularly late in the season, as that defense, which under Dan Quinn played a little smaller, a little more athletically, kind of moving guys around like Marquise Bell. So, what are they going to look like defensively under Mike Zimmer? And, can they be better stopping the run, particularly late in the season when you saw teams literally just take full advantage of the Cowboys defense with the run game? So those are my questions for them.
I 100% agree. That was my first question. Even though everybody thought I was going to say something about Dak, Jerry, how are you going to improve the run defense? The run defense with the talent they got on there was kind of bad last year. And with the new defensive coordinator, like you say, he liked to play with a lot of beef on the inside. So that maybe that will hopefully play them better. But my first question was, how is the new defensive coordinator going to improve the run game? And my last one would be the young line. But, okay, if you don't want to pay CeeDee Lamb, who else is going to get the ball? No CeeDee Lamb. Where you don't got no running back, don't got no running game. You brought Zeke back in. I love Zeke, but Zeke ain't the same Zeke that he was there. Zeke is like a capital Zeke. All the Z-E-E, K-K, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, but my main concern with the Cowboys is definitely a run defense. That run defense. That is it, Sean. Episode 97. Who do you got?
I got someone who should be in the Hall of Fame and is not in the Hall of Fame. It's Simeon Rice. Defensive end. Yeah, 97, Simeon Rice.
And I'm looking at it. it is no player in the Hall of Fame with 97. But I got two. You should probably already know one of them. Sean, you should know one of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course I know one of them, yes.
Yeah, the big Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
the big Bosa boy. The big Bosa boy. I got Joey Bosa and Cameron Hayward.
Okay, all right, yeah, like that. Yep, cool. Like that.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. It's been another great episode of Real Takes on Fake Debates. We're going to see you guys on Monday, but make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. Friday, man, I told you it felt like Monday today. Golly, bro. See you guys on Friday. The Monday kills me. All right, guys. See you guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Rucker Man.